10,000. When the five horns cross the thousand, it is war. Presented by Bach.
Kamen Rider is a long and ongoing franchise, which means they have a ton of spin-off series. Some of those spin-off series are just showing up a bunch of new toys and new gimmick for the Rider Belt, but majority of them actually gives us stories and backstory of anyone who isn't a main writer. For example, some of my favorites is the Kamen Rider Exile and Kamen Rider Pump Check specials. Honestly, I could be biased because I love these characters a lot, but I really think these are really good, especially the opening theme song. They go hard for no reason. But what if I told you there's a really great Kamen Rider spin-off series that mainly focuses on the villains and anti-hero of the franchise? Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy and insane, and it's called Kamen Riders Outsiders. And honestly, it's one of the greatest spin-off series, and I'm not saying that because it has Dan Kuroto in it. That's just a bonus. But before we even talk about Outsiders, you'll probably have some questions like, why is Dan Kuroto there? Why is Drowser wearing our colors? And that's because there was a special called Kamen Rider Game The President and Kamen Rider Game Smart Brain and 1000% Crisis. I'm going to quickly summarize these two specials, but I highly recommend you check them out later. In Kamen Rider Game The President, Drowser gets infected by the Bugster virus, which resurrects Dan Kuroto and his dad. Kamen Rider Game and Kronos begin to fight, but eventually they actually make up, which was surprising for me. And after all that, Drowser gets cured, and the Dan family is happy once again. In the sequel, Drowser resurrects Dan Kuroto again by using a human gear body. Drowser wants Dan's help to fight an upcoming enemy, but Dan just wants to resurrect his company. And so the two CEOs begin to fight, and during the fight, Dan whips out his final form. And with his new final form, Dan beats Drowser and takes over his company, which he renames into Games Corporation. And with that out of the way, we can finally talk about Kamen Riders Outsiders. In the series, Foundation X is assembling a team of writers to fight against the evil Zeta. Meanwhile, Zeta is doing the same thing. They're also recruiting writers for their cause. At the time of this recording, the series isn't finished yet, but there is so much fan service. There's a lot of returning actors, a bunch of the villain writers get new suits, etc, etc. Out of all the new suits, I really love that Kamen Rider Strike gets a survivor form. I think this goes without saying, but Zeta's suit is so freaking good. I really love that henshin noise.
Justice. Sentimental. Safe. Salvation of humankind.
Like I said earlier, this series is not done yet, but what we got so far, it is shaping up to be one of the best Kamen Rider spin-off series. That being said, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Kamen Rider Outsiders, and I'll see you guys next time.